Let's talk about that interview that he did with Kristen Welker of NBC for Meet the Press. Things got pretty heated in that interview. They talked about the war in Iran. They talked about U.S. election fraud back in 2020. Nancy, what exactly happened?
Well, the president makes a lot of baseless claims about election fraud, past, present, and future. And he isn't always pinned down on it because he's taking questions from a large number of reporters all at the same time. But this was a situation where he was sitting there across from Kristen for about an hour, and he kept claiming that there had been fraud in his election, that there was fraud going on in California races right now. And she just pointed out the obvious, which was that there is no evidence of that. And, well, you can watch for yourself and see how he reacted to that.
You've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about, I want to talk about Todd
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk about...
Your elections in this country, we're like a third world country.
But, sir,
your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC, and CBS, and CNN.
But, Mr. President...
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits, because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press, because you know what?
Mr.
A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
he traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
So essentially, he grew so agitated by the fact that she was pushing back on some of the baseless claims that he was making about election fraud that he eventually ended the interview and walked off, although we understand that he did speak with Welker subsequently and has agreed to be interviewed again.
Yeah, it was really quite something to see that exchange, but she stayed on him, pointing out that there was no evidence.
And I mean, in any other, if this were any other president, this would be front page news across the entire planet. A president behaving in such a manner as to end an interview by calling a female reporter darling, in addition to all the mistruths that he stated. And it was also interesting.
He also called her stupid.
Stupid and crooked, and and I love that Kristen was able to push back and say, "Well, we are not the ones who are crooked." But Nancy, it's sort of, to me, the larger issue here is that the president hates to be challenged, and when he's offered the opportunity to present evidence that he has that would suggest that what he is saying is truthful, he just says, "Well, it's what I know," or "It's what I feel," and obviously none of those things work in a court of law, as Kristen pointed out.
Sure, and I've been through the same experience when he was making an untrue claim about U.S. immigration policy, and I pointed it out and asked him about it, and he called me stupid as well. So, in some ways that's par for the course. In other ways, it's still eye-opening when it happens, and it was notable that she continued to plow forward and said, "No, I'm not stupid or crooked. I'm just a journalist."
Yeah, and it's good that they're going to be having another interview, and hopefully she'll be able to ask all the questions that I know she prepared for that. Nancy Cordes, thank you so much.
You got it.